several players have just said over the last few months is how much responsibility David had before the snap.
Yes.
In terms of getting everyone on the same page. Without him, does that just go to the next center, or do you have to say, Jacoby, we need you to do more?
I think it's you can't fill those shoes with 1 foot, so he's got to help out. Jacoby will assure. Nick is trained to do it and ready to go. So I don't feel like. I mean, obviously it's a huge drop. It's just the person, the leader, everything, his intelligence, experience. It's big shoes to fill, but we'll have to collectively fill them between Nick and Jacoby.
Let's kind of circle the wagons for you guys when it comes to the offense. How do you look at what's ahead for Sunday and what you guys have to do to get on track?
The thing is we just have to play better. I think that's the biggest thing. We have to be better on first and second down, convert on third down. We didn't convert like we needed to on third down. And we got to get in the red zone. Once we get in the red zone, I feel like we have some good opportunities to score points. So collectively, we all just have to continue to improve. And that's the biggest message that I have for the team. Let's just get better each week. And then whether it's on a Wednesday practice, a Thursday practice, whenever that is, let's never miss the opportunity to continue to grow and get better. The one thing I was really impressed with was our play style again. Those guys fought to the very end. We're down a couple scores at the end of the game, and there was the same intensity from the first snap. And those guys are playing the right way. We just got to, just play better on offense right now.
What's the conversation like when you speak with a young receiver who may be disenchanted but not getting enough looks, touches, especially with the passing game kind of struggling to find some.
You stay positive. I mean, it takes all 11 to get it done. And that's including the pass game and the run game as well. So we just have to keep working at it, keep trying to improve, find ways to be more explosive down the field. Through the pass game, we're not getting that done right now. A lot of factors go into that. Again, it takes all 11 to be successful in both phases, run and pass.
Alex, we saw Kendrick Bourne back in practice yesterday. How was it to get him back on the field? And what does he add to the offense?
Man, the energy, the juice, you felt that immediately. Practice was different when he stepped on the field. Just the way that he carries himself, the energy that he plays with, that'll be a huge boost for us in the receiver room. And his ability to one, get open and then run with the ball after he catches it are some of the things that he does extremely well. So really excited for him. I know he's worked extremely hard to get back, and we're excited to have him back.
Alex, Toronto over the last couple of weeks has emphasized getting the ball out quickly. It seemed down Sunday in San Francisco when the ball did come out quickly. There weren't a lot of yards generally after the catch. How do you generate more?
You got to get guys running, keeping them on the move. We did emphasize getting the ball out of our hand in that game. The matchups, with Bosa, that was a concern of us. I thought we did a good job handling him for the most part. He had one play at the end of the game where he affected the game. But for the most part, I think he had one quarterback hit on the day and one sack. So I think we did the right things to make sure we were helping out with him. But for catch and runs, we got to hit guys moving and be able to break tackles. And then we all have to work down the field. Receivers have to continue to work to get blocks down the field to spring their guys.
Alex, we've talked quite a bit about the toughness of Jacoby. You mentioned, thank God he's this tough and physically strong to get up. But have you noticed, and maybe this week was this past week was sort of a tipping point where the constant contact has maybe taken his eyes off down the field and more towards the colors that are coming at him?
I have not seen that with him. Definitely not. He's not a guy that worries much about that. He's going to stand in there like he did and deliver. So I don't see that in his game right now. I mean, human nature would tell you to protect yourself in those situations, but there was throws he made where he stood right up and took one on the chin, not even worried about the rush.
Alex, with the Drake May instability up front with the offensive line, does that impact his development plan or timeline at all?
Right now, we're just trying to win games on Sunday. So, I would say no. I think that we just got to continue to do what's best for the team and get us in position to win on Sunday.
Alex, Javon Baker hasn't had much of a role on offense so far. What have you seen from him behind the scenes? What does he need to improve on to have more work?
Extremely talented guy. His ability to play the ball in the air and his ball skills are great. His ability to win and separate is there. For Javon, it's really the details. Lining up correctly, running the right routes, earning the trust of the coaching staff and the quarterback as well. But there's a bright future there. He's got to come on and tighten down the details.
Coach, we saw Montre Jacobs slot in at left tackle on Sunday. Just what did you see from him, and how did he do filling in there?
Was proud of him. Fought his butt off. Had the sombrero on the day of dealing with Bosa for most part. Really fought well, threw his hands really well. He's super long. I think that's one of his qualities that makes him good when he does use his hands. He's tough to get around, but again, for a guy that really started his first game ever, including preseason, to go out and play against Bosa for most part of the day, I thought he did a really nice job.
What's that mean, sombrero?
You're the guy that has the big hat on. So you wear the big hat, you got a lot of responsibility. That's just one of the football terms we use. He wore the sombrero. He drew the short stick, however you want to look at it. But he had a tough duty.
What's your philosophy just on pre-snap motion and motion at the snap? Because I don't think you guys statistically do it a ton, but I'm just curious. What's the motivation?
We motion with a purpose. If there's a reason to motion, in and out of bunches, moving the tight end from side to side, depending on how the defense responds to what we do with the motions, dictates how much we motion.
Can you be limited in terms of how much you might like to use it based on, for example, if you're dealing with moving pieces on the offensive line, would that impact how much you'd be willing to use motion at the snap?
It does, it changes the picture often. So when you do motion right before the snap, the picture for the offensive line can change. So yes.
What would your conversation like with Montre? Say, getting Bosa and coming through that pretty strongly. Like, kid, it's not going to get much more difficult than that.
Yeah, that was it. Really, just acknowledged him, in front of the group on Monday, and it was one of the things we do in there. When instead of clapping, everybody knocks, and the whole room knocked it up for him. So he should be feeling confident in his ability right now, and just get better as the weeks go on.
Now, speaking of the instability of the offensive line, how much has that impacted the screen game, which generally seems to improve?
Yeah.
Continuity of time?
It does. It's tough. I think this will be our fifth different lineup of offensive linemen in 5 games. So getting that continuity in every aspect is tough. So the run game, the pass protection, pushing out when we need to. The screen game, definitely. We had a screen to Ramondre that wasn't how we would usually do it there, and that's just getting reps with the new guys in. So it makes it difficult, but that's the challenges we're facing with.
Coach, it seems like the slip screens haven't been quite as effective as some like tight end screens and things. Is there anything behind that you've noticed?
We had to do better in execution, really. We had a couple of looks. One, we didn't get a guy out that should have gotten out, and 2 games ago, and we had a missed assignment on the one we threw to Pop in this game. So we have to definitely improve in that area when we're throwing the ball to the wide receiver screens.
There were a few guys who ended up on the injury report yesterday, including Dick and Lane, I think as well. Do you anticipate there might be further changes on the line for you in the offensive center position?
Yeah, right now just waiting to see who's going to be available late in the week. Obviously have contingency plans if those guys can't make it, but we'll see where we go as the week progresses.
On those 4th and short plays where you're trying to draw them offside, how much of that is Gerard saying let's it, or how much of that is in the system? Can you shed light on that? Because sometimes it hasn't worked, I guess, a couple times.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. Obviously in the Cincinnati game, I would say it worked because we got to the line of scrimmage and we burned 40 seconds off the clock, and that was at the end of that game. So it does work in those situations. It's an analytical thing that comes from upstairs. Evan does a great job with that, communicating that, and drives that as it goes. But a lot of times, you're going to take a delay. We did have the one in the game the other day where they did lurch across the line. We're coaching now to reach out and touch that, so we'll continue to improve there. So really, out of those times we've done it, 2 times, I would say we had opportunities for success. We'll go back to Cincinnati at the end of a quarter, right before the 2-minute, I believe. We used an operational tool to try to get them to come off sides, and we got them off sides right before the 2-minute. So we're doing the right things. We just got to execute when those times come.
You obviously haven't seen much of Brian Hudson up at this point. What have you seen from him in practice behind the scenes?
Yeah, he's a guy that's played center. He got all the reps yesterday in there with the first group. He's very capable. He's just another guy who just could learn the system. He wasn't here for the OTAs and all of that, so it's just catching him up to speed.
Alex, you've been around a while. Can you recall through 4 games the situation you've had to deal with the offensive line so far?
Yeah. Buffalo in 2009. I think 16 games. I want to say we had 12 or 13 different starting offensive lineups. That's part of the deal in the NFL. There's always the injuries. Again, you would love to see those guys, all 5, play together for extended period of time for the continuity. But in the NFL world, that's not real. Okay, thanks, guys.